Southeast Asia, home to many things: delicious food, vibrant culture, scary ghosts, and more recently, video games. Like everywhere else in the world, many people in Southeast Asia are a fan of a variety of games, ranging from competitive multiplayers like Valorant, League, or Marvel Rivals, to casual yet sometimes challenging games like Overcooked or Among Us, and single-player story games from both indie and AAA developers. And hentai games. So it's no surprise when some people in Southeast Asia were thinking, hey, we like to play games, why don't we make some ourselves? And that's where the Southeast Asia Games Onwards 2025 event comes in, where I, and a few others, will be playing and promoting a variety of games made by Southeast Asian developers throughout December. So let's start with Elusive Domain. Elusive Domain is a boss rush Souls-like made by KOMANOMALY. The gameplay is similar to Sekiro or Lies of P, parry, stagger, that sort of thing. As noted by KOMANOMALY, not only are there no standard enemies, but there's also no level progression, as your character is, by their own words, overpowered and start off with a variety of skills, so the only way to improve is through your own skills, aka get good. GRIFFORD Academy. This is a turn-based RPG with a bit of a twist. While most RPGs have characters develop their own skills and moves, characters here can get new skills through weapons and artifacts. And each character starts out with 1 attack and 3 item slots, where you can add a weapon or an item on each slot, which totals to 4 skills per member. Some weapons have passive where you can debuff enemies, heal, or buff yourself after using that weapon's attack. Duo Quest. Duo Quest is a co-op game where both players need to play locally, but you can play through different PCs via remote play. You can actually play this game alone, but it's better with friends. You play as a knight and a wizard. You both venture out on a journey to defeat the Demon King and his generals to bring peace to the lands. What is this, free-run? You and your partners fight using cards, where you can build a deck consisting of offensive and defensive skill cards, and use them to attack enemies or defend yourself. But the most interesting gameplay is the combo moves. When you damage an enemy, it will fill their energy bar and activate their ultimate.
No distractions!
During this phase, you and your partner will need to combine cards to use a powerful attack, and as you choose your cards, the game asks questions about your partner's interests, ranging from music to hobbies. If both partners answer the same thing, they will execute the combo move. If not, then you guys get damaged. This is a unique and challenging mechanic that tests how well both partners know each other. But because Yuna and I just met and played together, we just cheated. Don't judge. Kumitantei. Kumitantei is a murder mystery game where you wake up in a mysterious school with 15 other people, to which they're tasked to kill each other without getting caught. The game is heavily inspired by Danganronpa, from the gameplay to each character having a title that ties to their profession, and the mascot having a two-faced aesthetic like Monokuma. The only difference is the trials. In Danganronpa, you need to analyze each sentence and rebuke certain arguments with evidence you found during your investigation. But in this game, you and the person you're debating against are facing a card battle where you both needs to fill their respective progress bar to win. As you fill your bar, evidence cards, presumably collected during your investigation, appear on your deck. These add to the challenge, as they aren't used in the fight itself and limit your card space. However, once you won and your opponent asks their questions, you'll need to use the evidence cards that's relevant to the question asked. The game plays well, and the characters are all well drawn and designed, but the thing that surprised me is the voice acting. Because not only is this the first game I covered for SEAGO that has voice acting, but the acting and delivery are solid and well executed too.
The name is Reiji Kutsuki, legendary absolute pop star.
Really? That's your plan? Search blindly in each and every room of this giant place hoping to find something? That's all you can come up with?
And you may be familiar with some of these actors, as Kazan, the lumberjack woman,
Wishful thinking. None of us want to stay here forever.
is voiced by Chloe Evs, who also voiced Stell from Hey Shazar and Corin from ZZZ. Wait, they have Donkey Kong in this game? I give this a 10 out of 10 with a badass seal of approval. Don't Freeze. Don't Freeze is a simple survival game where your plane crash lands in the deserted snowy area where you are the sole survivor. You begin with a bunch of cards, sensing a pattern here that represents your clothing, consumables, and tools. This game reminds me of the Survive mobile game, and it plays similar to it. There's no 2D or 3D gameplay, everything is text-based. To survive, you need to roam around the area to find food and materials, which you can use to craft tools or repair stuff. And you need to relocate to other sites for better chance of survival. There's a day-night cycle, and every action you make takes an amount of time to do, so plan your moves carefully. Basically, all you have to do is PICTECTIVE. This is a very simple game. It's similar to Waldo. You play as the chasing a robber who's hiding in the pictures. In each stage, you need to find certain landmarks or traits of the photo shown at the right. Once you find all of them, the robber will appear and you need to find and catch him. You can play each stage in colorblind mode to challenge yourself, or just play it normally if you just want to chill. It's a fun game for anyone who wants to test their observational skills. Grim Trials. This is an action roguelite where you play as Evelyn, a woman who died but lived and is selected to be a Grim Reaper. But first, she needs to complete some trials. Okay, that's enough. The combat plays similarly like Cult of the Lamb, a hack and slash where you roam around stage, kill dudes and get power-ups, go to a different section until you reach the boss and kill it. Every time you die or complete a stage, you teleport back to the academy. Here, you can upgrade stats, make potions, craft better weapons and gear, or upgrade them. COMANOMALY, or HANTURIUM. This is a horror mystery game that, in its own words, has supernatural elements, puzzles, and humor. I'll be the judge of that. You play as Nurse Susie, in charge of monitoring Mr. Reynolds Soroso, a wealthy businessman with a dysfunctional family. Cause every wealthy businessman needs at least one dysfunctional family. Mr. Soroso is terminally ill, and it's your job to keep him alive. You answer to both Dr. Henry, the family's doctor, and Makrungadus, or Rudy for short, a shaman also under the employment of the family. Here, you're told by Rudy that evil spirits are targeting Mr. Soroso, and one of his family members is responsible, but you don't have to worry about that for now. There's two challenges in this game. First is the heart monitor. The heart monitor has 5 categories with different numbers and a threshold range that's considered normal for each category. If one or more categories are outside that threshold, you need to press the button next to the category and identify the problem using the medical chart, which was posted on the bed frame in case you're wondering what it was. I know I did. After that, contact the doctor and choose the right disease based on your findings. The second and more challenging of the two is ghost busting. This part is similar to Phasmophobia, where you need to find 3 signs of ghost activity and identify the type of ghost. Call Rudy and select the correct ghost type. Some signs are easy to spot, but others are a bit more vague and well hidden. Once in a while, the ghost will attack you and you need to play some minigames to fight them. Almost forgot, there's a timer, so you need to be fast in all this. This game also has a speedrun scoreboard, which includes everyone's favorite characters like Skips, Mushu, and Marvin. Meet War Angels. Are you a fan of shooter games? Do you like to play war games like Call of Duty, Battlefield, or Medal of Honor? Well then this game isn't that. Just like this war of mine, instead of playing as a soldier fighting for democracy, you play as everyday people doing their best to survive a war zone. In this case, doctors and paramedics. You manage a ruined hospital and it's your duty to provide medical care to civilians caught in the crossfire. Some patients will stay and give extra manpower once recovered, and as the game progresses, there are certain events that leads to new policy changes. Most are beneficial, while some requires the strongest of will. But with limited supplies and more victims than doctors, you can't save everyone. So prepare to make some hard choices. You can also assign some of your people to do some scavenging and missions, where they can obtain additional food, medical supplies, and even guns.
Hey, look at that, we got guns!
Coffee Talk Tokyo. I've heard of the Coffee Talk series before, but I haven't played any of the games until now. In this game, you play as a barista running a small yet cozy coffee shop in Tokyo. Your customers include regular people, spirits, yokais, and other mythological beings. You brew coffee or other assortments of drinks based on their requests and preferences. Aside from serving drinks, you also listen to their life stories and struggles. The comforting atmosphere of the cafe and refreshing drinks helps everyone open up to each other, exchanging heart-to-heart conversations, making new friends, and offering advice to each other, all under the roof of your humble coffee shop. Overhours. This is a tower defense game. You play as an owl named Mai, who was recently promoted to being a guard. Your mission is to keep monsters from entering the company's doors by any means necessary. You have a bunch of traps and turrets to aid you, as well as some power moves to make fighting easier. The stealth shading style makes this game look great and gives the game the comic aesthetic that they were going for. I hope we'll get to choose different characters to play in the final game, cause I want to play as Jing for reasons. ISEKAT. ISEKAT. Crushed by a computer, my beloved kitten is transported to a fantasy world where its typing skills save the kingdom. As the name suggests, it's an isekai typing game where you play as a cat transported to a fantasy world, and your only way to fight is through typing. Your goal is to save the prince, who is captured by the king of dogs and his allies, as well as the rest of the cats kidnapped by them. You fight by typing out one word per enemy and block with the spacebar. Escape from IRENE Parasite. You play as Irene, a little girl living together with her grandmother because her parents are too busy for her. One day, her grandma was hospitalized and has only a week to live. As the loving, caring granddaughter you are, you'll need to take care of her, give her love and comfort in her final days, and Well, one way or another, we took care of her. Obviously, as the title is called Escape from Irene, we don't play as Irene. She's our boss. We play as Officer Eddie, an examiner who works at Duskwood, an institution that Irene manages. Our job is to examine the patient's symptoms and assign them to 3 different rooms based on the symptoms each patient has. Some patients are silent and unresponsive, and these are the dangerous ones as they can kill you if you look away. There were 2 bugs that I stumbled upon while playing this. The first is when I tried to talk to the patient and the game soft locked, and the second is when I start a new run. I tried to start my job at the PC, but it always resets, which soft locked me again. Because of that, I couldn't progress and had to stop the game. I'll try again later, but for now, I'll leave it at that. K-pop Demon Hunter, K-pop idol stories. This is a managerial game where you play as a former K-pop star turned manager. Here, you will do what every K-pop manager does. Hire talents, schedule training regimens, and even manage your talent's dietary habits. This demo gives you around 3 months to make your own K-pop girl group. Unfortunately, by the 3rd week, the game soft locked me and I can't continue. I informed the devs about the bug both on Steam reviews and Twitter and hope they fix it on the final release. But for now, let's move on. Froggy Brews. This is a game where you play as a frog, brewing tea for other frogs.
No shit.
The brewing game reminds me of the alchemy minigame from Genshin. It's a grit magic game and each ingredient not only has different grit shapes but also different categories. There's 5 categories of taste and it's your job to match the categories based on your customer's preference. Aside from brewing, you can venture out in the open to not only search for ingredients,
This might be a good spot to find some ingredients.
but also talk to the townsfolk and stuff. In the case of this demo, you talk to your latest customer by the dock, he tells you his life story and the demo ends. The end. Made with Unity. Imagine there's a timeline where this game doesn't exist. RIFTSTORM. This is a looter shooter where you play as a weaver, an elite operative tasked with the closure of rifts and the containment of mythic threats. It reminds me of Risk of Rain a bit, as each weaver has their own skill sets unique to them and fit different types of gameplay. You can either play it solo or invite friends for multiplayer. Currently there's 5 playable weavers you can try out, and my favorite is Thistle, not only for her looks but also for her skill heavy gameplay. DESKTOWN. This is a desktop idle game where you manage your world and its inhabitants. Your task is to help populate the world and evolve them through different eras starting from the Stone Age. To do this, you need to build houses and structures that generate both population count and brain power per 10 seconds. Both are fueled by food, so you need to build food generating buildings too. Aside from being just a game, it also acts as a widget too. You can minimize the game into a small globe, where it has a clock feature and a timer. And in its minimized form, you can do other things with the game in the background. For example, here's me doing some editing and scripting for this video with the game up. And you can play other games too, like me playing some Woo-Wah with this game on stream. But it's a bit laggy, so I don't recommend it. OOKAMI. This is a visual novel. That's it. Repeat after. Okay, at least I can explain what the story is about. The story follows a woman named Akin, an Okami or innkeeper who slipped, fell, and died. Shortly after, she wakes up in the afterlife and was saved by Shimon, a Byaku who owned a decrepit inn. To repay him, Akin offers to help restore and manage his inn, which should be easy as she has experience in that field. This game also has some point-and-click gameplay where you tidy up furniture, clean out cobwebs, kick out some freeloaders, and clean out blood. Must be a wild night, huh? Repeat after death. This is a platformer with a twist. On each stage, you need to kill the enemy a number of times, and each time you kill an enemy, the game kills you and you... I thought we're done with this already. Anyway, you reset your position and the game creates an echo of your previous movements, but these echoes can kill you instead. This is the main challenge of the game, as you need to not only avoid your echoes but also have to plan your moves carefully and consider the paths to take to make the run easier. There are different classes with different types of attacks, but the game chooses it automatically and randomly, which adds to the challenge. Steel Judgment. Listen to that opening. This is a fast-paced roguelike arena shooter where you fight enemies and bosses. The gunplay reminds me of Quake and Doom, and with this being a roguelike, you get power-ups on each stage. It's a fun game to play, and you should try it out. There's not much I can say about this game that you can't tell by playing yourself, so we'll end it at there. And so, that is it for all the games I covered for SEAGO. If any of these games interest you, feel free to check them out on the link in the description below. And before I end this video, I do want to mention that the games I played barely scratched the surface of what the Southeast Asian game devs community have to offer. There are countless games made by these devs, ones I didn't even know about prior to joining the festival. And to not mention that before ending this video would be a disservice to the devs who work hard at these games. Sometime after this, I'll try out the games I missed out on SEAGO as well as the one that hasn't featured yet. I'll even make a serious playthrough if you guys like seeing me play them that much. If you guys want to try these games out yourself, I'll put a link to the SEAGO Steam page on the description below as well, or follow people who promote Southeast Asian games to keep yourself up to date. I recommend following SEAGAMEthetic, as they are the ones who would recommend me to join this event. They share a lot of SEA Games news and some occasional shit posting. Thank you all for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time.